Hello, week 2, EDUC3343. This is assignment clarification. We're going to be studying chapters 2 and 3 this week. Chapter 2 is about the different ways of learning. The multiple intelligences, they say that there really isn't any scientific proof, but we all know that some of us learn better by seeing. We're visual learners. Some of us learn better by hearing. Some of us learn better by doing. All of that is talked about in chapter 1. It talks about motivation, how students have motivation or lack of motivation in learning. There's a lot of controversy over the learning styles that people have, whether, different people learn that way. Some people just assume that everybody learns the same. When you go into a training or sometimes, usually the corporate world, they just assume everybody learns the same. It talks about gender and learning, the different gender things that, boys may like something better than girls, and sometimes that can be a myth. Exceptional learners. I love this term, exceptional learners, instead of special ed, because, they are exceptional. They have so many different ways to learn and so many things that are in front of them that really challenge them. I was an exceptional learner teacher for 12 years and realized that I love that. I worked with learning disabled students. They could learn. They just had a discrepancy in their learning, which took them a little bit longer. And I just found that I just love that. I had a dear friend that had a daughter that I worked with that had cerebral palsy, and she was also deaf, and she had a cochlear implant. What a learning time for me, and to watch her as my good friend sit in ARD meetings and they talk about her daughter and all the challenges she has. It really gave me an empathy, and it made me come up with my own motto. It's teach every child as if they were your very own. So how would you want your child taught? If you have a special ed child, how would you like them taught? How would you like them worked with? It talks about the Disabilities Act, the IDEA Act. There are 6 provisions in that protect exceptional learners. Very, very important. So how do you want your child taught? That's how you teach every child. Every child. Chapter 3 talks about how to teach these. It gives you strategies. Diversity has changed over the years. I remember many years ago that somebody said, or I read, that the people of color are going to be the majority. And I was like, that's not possible. Well, it's here. It is here. And we have to learn how to deal with it, how to teach these students, how to love these students, and how to accept them. It's race, ethnicity, and culture. It all has to do. It all comes together the way that we help these students learn. ELL students. When I was staying at home with my girls right before I went back to work, I came and volunteered as a parent volunteer in the classroom, and I was assigned a little boy that could speak no English, none. And so what we did is we went around the school and we just practiced finding things, and he would say the Spanish and I would say the English. And it was quite an experience for me because I don't know Spanish. And so it was quite of a learning experience to me. But you're going to have those kids in your classroom. The theories of some succeed and some don't. Some people, I truly believe that everybody can learn something. It might not be everything that is in your classroom, but they can learn. They have the capacity of learn. That we'll talk about deficits, expectations, and cultural differences. Expectations to me is the clue to the the whole motivation thing. I had a little boy one time that came to my classroom that I was working with learning disabled students, remember? And his teacher had no expectations for him whatsoever in the classroom, none. She would put him over in the corner, give him easier work, When he came to my classroom and he was working with one of my coworkers in math, he was unbelievable. She believed he could do it, and he did. He was working on grade level for us, but his teacher didn't have any expectations, so he didn't. It's a huge thing. There's some short videos there that are very, very good that talks about the cultural differences and the different cultural responsive teaching. And one thing that was said in there, that it's more than just staff development, that going to staff development and learning about it and then checking the box and then coming back. It's an ongoing thing of practicing that and putting in strategies to help you teach those students. Our devotional this week is about complaining and arguing. Oh my gosh, some people have a knack at that. Drives me nuts. I am a very positive, upbeat person. I was raised that way. My mom was that way. I'm truly blessed. But how can we change that in your school? We don't want that, because what that does is that breeds negativity. How can you make a difference? The interactive assessment this week is about diversity challenges. On page 65, there are some challenges that are listed there that are all about diversity. Have you had any experiences of those? What are some of the things that are the challenges there? The one thing that I picked up on was that some educators come up with unconscious biases, that you don't even realize that you have those biases against certain cultures or certain stereotypes, that we have to be very, very careful at those. What are some of your experiences in those? Mainstreaming. Okay, so back to this, teaching everybody as if they were your child, okay? The mainstreaming gives you lots of ideas there on mainstreaming. What are the things that you can do to help these students? There are lots of questions there that you're going to give on that. Now, the thing here is you're going to talk about the mainstreaming. You're going to give a paragraph for each item, each bullet point there that you're going to do, and explain it in detail, okay? All right, your Gardner's multiple intelligences, you're going to describe all 8, going to give me a description, and then you're going to give me a concrete example of each. I don't want to know a description without an example. So, what are football players? Where do they fall? What are singers? What are architects? Give me concrete examples of each one. And it also asks you to predict the future. Predict it and tell what you think that could happen. Could we find more intelligences? Excuse me. All right, and the last one is called culturally responsive teaching. It's all about that in chapter 3 in your book, and you are to make me a PowerPoint. Now, here's the big deal that I'm looking for. It's saying to use graphics. It's saying to use video. So I want to hear your voice, whether I see your face or not, it doesn't matter. I want to hear your voice explaining. You are to have at least 10 to 15 slides. There is one that is supposed to be strictly for the Christian part of this. Should Christian teachers practice cultural responsive teaching? All right? I'm looking all through there for you to explain it well to me. Again, I want to hear your voice explaining it. This is not just a PowerPoint. This is a voice PowerPoint. So make sure that you do that. Okay? It does ask you, besides the textbook, to use one other reputable source, so be sure and let me know what you're doing there. Okay? Great. Thank you and have a great week. Let me know if I can help you in any way.